Jane Cunliffe. I'm Trade Commissioner in New Delhi. I've had previous similar roles in the US and Italy and the Pacific, and our office is responsible for the northeastern India, for Bhutan, Bangladesh and Nepal. The role of a Trade Commissioner is to manage a small team of in-market experts to help New Zealand businesses grow bigger, better, faster in our markets. So we work with businesses on the full raft of international business development services, from finding distributors, helping companies understand the right business model, understand the competitive framework in the market, introducing them to key contacts that we develop, and the promotional angle as well, so it might be showcasing and promoting products. India is a country on the move, still expecting good GDP growth at 7%. The government's efforts to attract FDI are paying off with unprecedented levels of FDI, US $43.4 billion last year, and there's a lot of work going on infrastructure. Digitisation is really rising rapidly. There are 250 million plus internet users in India, and e-commerce is exponentially growing. There are a raft of government programs to really stimulate the growth of the economy. Programs such as Make in India, Digital India, Smart Cities, Swachh Bharat, which is Clean Up India, and these programs are really working towards easing business and opening up opportunities, encouraging FDI, really opening up the market for manufacturing, for infrastructure development. In themselves, they offer great opportunities for New Zealand businesses, whether they're companies in the construction and building sector, whether it's the aviation sector, whether it's IT in healthcare, clean tech, raft of business sectors across the board. There are openings for New Zealand smart technologies and solutions in India. Applying aviation technologies and training and solutions into the aviation sector, or whether businesses are supplying IT into the healthcare and digital sectors, or even food and beverage into the upmarket retail distribution in India. The important thing is that you get India in order to be successful in doing business there. As one of my good friends, Bharat Joshi, who's CEO of J-Curve, quoted in his recently published book, Navigating India, within India there are wheels within wheels that move business in India, and it's important to understand how those wheels work. Government, more than anywhere else, the government and social networks play an important part of succeeding in India. And India is a complex market. There's still a lot of bureaucracy. It just takes a lot longer to do things than many other places, a lot longer to get a foot in the door. And businesses just need to understand that. We've seen companies. New Zealand's one of New Zealand's largest fruit exporters. It took them 5 years. Started with a hand-holding from NZTE and gravitating into owning their own fully owned operation there, which supports the marketing and their distributor network. But it takes time. Another important thing is to understand that you can't do it all from sitting in New Zealand. You've got to find a partner, you've got to find representation on the ground, have some form of representation. It can't be done sitting just in New Zealand. And that's why it's important for businesses to really understand from the get-go, what is their business model going to be in India? Is it going to be pure distribution? Is it going to be a joint venture? Will they consider a fully owned subsidiary or a license under manufacture example? So really important to get the business model right in the planning part. Finding the right partner, the right person to do business with in India is really important. They say India is a relationship-driven market, and they say that about a lot of markets, but I think it's really true when it comes to India. The Indian people place a lot of store in their business relationships. They're more holistic relationships. You usually get invited to weddings, to family occasions. Business partners will ask about your family. They care about you as a social person, as well as whatever you're doing in business. So it's really important to take the time to understand your business partner and build up that trust and that empathy with them as you go through the business process. India is actually not one market. It's a group of 29 states, all with varying tastes, cultural differences, languages, and so on. So we advise companies to think very carefully about how they approach the market from a geographical perspective. Are they interested in the rich, cosmopolitan, rapidly growing middle-class consumer markets of New Delhi, Bangalore and Mumbai? Or perhaps they're a company that's supplying equipment to projects, so they may, for instance, be more interested in looking at the smaller tier cities where there are aviation airports of a smaller scale, more fitted and more suited. Or it could be projects in the marine sector, so they're looking at the port cities. So it's really important to not try to tackle India as a whole, but to look at niche where your market really is. The most important thing I'd say to people about doing business in India is, firstly, plan very carefully. Secondly, be very considered about finding the right partner. And thirdly, come to the market to support your in-market partners. One of the things that surprised me in India was the strength of the relationships that are being built between New Zealand and Indian companies. Leaving aside the splash of colour, the seething crowds, the thing that's really struck me has been how the strong sense of monarchy exists in the Indian business culture. And it's been rather really quite heartwarming to see New Zealand business people and Indian business people come together and forge very strong relationships and very strong business propositions through a strong sense of empathy and commitment and trust. A trade commissioner is a person who runs a team of experts, in-market experts in the country of where they are, and they work with companies to help those companies understand their market entry strategy, direct them to key in-market partners they might work with, to work with them on identifying facilitators, marketing teams, other people they might value assistance with, through to doing research, so it's really, the role of a trade commissioner is really bringing local know-how and know-who to the businesses that are aspiring to grow in India. The trade commissioner works with local business development managers who have the expertise and the networks in the market to really give our companies a leg up in growing quicker and smarter in the market. The thing I love about India are the wonderful, warm people that we meet, the cuisine, the colours. I just love going out in India, and everybody's in beautiful silk-coloured saris. The businesswomen are very sophisticated, but beautifully dressed. The friendships that you develop are quite exceptional. NZTE, especially with its business development managers who have quite a bit of expertise and good, strong networks in India, can really help companies find the right partner.